Hello, and welcome to Mind and Money Show, where we talk all things mindset, money management, and our entrepreneurial journey. Along the way, we're going to throw in some amazing guests for good measure. I'm Shane Hyland.
I'm Gareth Shears. This show is going to change your life and teach you skills that school never taught you.
Boom.
Kids have left the room.
Dun dun dun.
Two people said to me this week already that they thought you won the GQ Man of the Year award when you were picking up this thing here.
I did. Best dressed. I don't think I
No
would
tie,
best
no
dressed.
dicky ball.
Yeah, look, it was last minute in a roundabout sort of way. Wasn't kind of expected to go, but we went. Oh, I went. Cardiff Life Awards. There she is.
You're the lucky charm.
Cardiff Life Awards 2022 legal and financial winner. Pretty happy with that, to be honest.
There's some other big guns in there.
Yeah, no. In all fairness, though, I think. I mean, it's we were up against some really really good companies, kind of locally. We actually know the owners and really really good guys. And but yeah, no, nice to actually kind of be recognised for the hard work we've been putting in, because
They can be classed as losers now.
no one's. No,
I'm only teasing. No, there was some big names in there.
it was.
Do you know how people?
There's guys we know, like the guys at GS Verdi
Yeah.
and Heck Jones. We're good friends with all those guys as well.
It was a big shock, though. Sometimes you go to things, I'm very shocked. I don't think there was an expectation. So there was.
No, I changed to say that because I was sat at the table with Nigel Owens because he was comparing the awards and everything in the end. And when I went up, I was like, genuinely, he said, yeah, okay, whatever. I genuinely didn't expect us to win that. It was nice. Really nice. I was a bit shocked. I was flying solo that night as well.
Yeah. We've been told that twice. And there was another bottle of alcohol to go with the champagne.
Lovely bit of gin from the local distillery. Yeah, no. Like I say, in all honesty, I think it's
nice to get them because there's a recognition then that the stuff that we're actually doing is making a difference, and people are not only seeing that, but they're also understanding that the way that we're talking and working and doing the whole aspect of finance now is slightly different to most, but there's a recognition now, which is really really nice.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's kind of it. Yeah. So another one in the bag. Yeah. We'll keep going. We'll keep doing what we do. We love what we do, and keep doing the best for our clients.
Getting on to the money side of it. You put out a reel the last day about why interest rates were going up.
Why interest rates are really going up.
And stuff like that. And it got me thinking, in a nice way, and I've been not trying to skip it, it's kind of a bit there with everything seemingly going up in price, and not only mortgages, but the whole fuel and all that stuff.
Yeah, the fuel, mine's a good example. What did mine go up from? £125 a month to I think £275.
That's fuel for the house, as in gas, not fuel for the car.
That's fuel for the house. Well, fuel for the car's going up as well. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of it's crazy out there, and I think something's got to be done about it because wages and everything are not keeping pace with the cost of inflation. Because everyone talks about inflation being at 6.6%, I believe. It's not. It's double digit.
Yeah.
We are in double digit inflation. 100%.
I think it was interesting when you put it out there about it's the mortgage rates are going up because they don't have the staff to deal with that, and there seems to be loads of people applying, and it got me worrying. Are people applying and they think, I've got my deposit, I can afford my mortgage, but does there also almost needs to be a re-education of money and getting people not to live week to week or month to month, because we're going to see over the next few months potentially bigger costs in running a house which is going to impact on people, maybe only for the short term until the government back in, but it's going to mean having to understand, or change spending behaviours. And I think everyone will be able to afford it. And I had an argument, disagreement, a discussion on Saturday at a kids' party about this. I think people will find the money as they always do, but I think there's going to have to be an understanding that to buy a house or a bigger house or upsize or whatever is going to mean that every bill is going to increase dramatically. And I know people kind of, well, that's understandable, but they're not just going to be small increases. They're going to be massive jumps up. And I hope people can understand that.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see with lenders, actually. I think I did see an email where they are starting to look at affordability now, factoring these rises, because obviously they're working on all calculations for affordability. But like, for anyone who didn't see the reel, basically, what I was trying to explain was that mortgage rates are flying up at the moment, and lenders are pulling their rates left, right, and centre. If you're currently going through the process of buying a house or remortgaging, whatever it kind of may be, you might find that interest rate you were quoted a couple of weeks ago has gone up, and some have gone up considerably. Now, that isn't just because the Bank of England base rate's gone up. There's a bit more to it than that. Okay, lenders have been inundated with business, and some of these lenders are short on staff because of the current climate we've been through. They're behind on cases, and they're actually putting their interest rates up to try and stem the flow of business coming in. Okay, so it's a tactic they've used for years, and I understand it is because what they want to do is keep the service levels at the level that they can cope with, and they can actually provide a service. So they put interest rate. But the problem you have with that is, if they put their interest rates up, one lender, okay, so does everyone else. And all of a sudden, and I think this happened with one of the big lenders, the main high street lenders, they put their rates up because they were inundated with business. Everyone else did exactly the same. They suddenly became top of the charts again, and therefore got inundated with business again. So they have to bump their rates up again. And then there's a knock-on effect of that. So there's this race with the rates going up. So yes, the interest rate rise does have an effect, but more so it's on volume of business at the moment that they want to cope and give you the service that they should. Now, we deal with 90 odd lenders in the market, I believe now, and we deal with a lot of those, and the service standards, if I'm honest, with some lenders have dropped to levels which are just
below unacceptable.
Oh, it is. Do you know what I mean? And they're not giving us a good service or our clients. So that's kind of a bit of a challenge. But that is kind of one of the reasons. So that's what that reel was about. It was only a short one, but it was just to kind of say that this should settle down at some point. I can't guarantee it will, but there's a good chance it should settle down and things will kind of come back. So you have seen a couple of lenders come back in where they nip their rates back down slightly because they've suddenly gone, right, okay, we want some more business now.
But everything is going up, and it's, you see the ideal house and you want to upsize and you get a family, and all of a sudden, you can't afford £600 a month, £400, £1,000, whatever it may be on the mortgage. And now everything is going up: your gas, your electricity, your council tax, your car, your fuel, any sort of piece of shopping that you buy. I think we got some mouthwash, pre-COVID, and it was £2 something. It's £5.40 now. It is, everything's gone up, and I think people need to, be absolutely understandable and fully understand their budgeting and their spending habits, and realign, their spending correctly, because I think we can all afford these jump ups, but you're going to have to cut back on certain things, and that's the thing that people need to start doing now.
Yeah, I know you think we can afford it. I'm not convinced people can. Do you mean some of these jumps, we're not just talking the gas and electric's gone up. The cost of buying bread, milk and sugar's gone up. The cost of putting food in your car's gone up. Like my nursery costs go up for my daughter. That's rocketed, and I get that they've got fuel bills, but they're going to get to a point in these nurseries where actually parents can be like, I'm going to have to pull them out of school at a nursery, because it's counterproductive. Because if your wages are not going up, but your nursery costs are going up, I think at some point it's going to make a point where actually there's no point in you going to work. Yeah. You might as well look after your kids.
If everyone pulls everyone out of the nursery is going to have to do something. But I don't think
it will. That's probably a bit extreme. But
there is certainly
an issue.
I can't remember the bloody name of them. Little cake bars, and in one well-known shop, right, they're $2.50, and you go to one of the cheaper outlets and a 150. And that's just the only example because I saw that a couple of days ago. And I do think that I understand there's massive rises, but I do think if people go back to old school and kind of have a look around, and it does mean we have to get rid of the convenience because you pay for convenience. It's like anything. If you go to a supermarket, you can buy every single thing in that one shop. And I think over the years, people haven't given a toss about what it costs. They just buy. It goes on the debit card. And I think if people are struggling cost-wise, I know it's a massive jump to pay maybe £200 a month gas and electricity to 500. But I think if people do go around and shop again in different outlets, I think at least maybe a weekly shop, a household shop or food shop, you can cut back on some of that. You can probably have exactly the same amount and type of food and the exact same brand, but even if you're only saving £20-30 a week, still £120 in the month against the increase in that electricity. So I do think people will be able to do things, but I think it might be going back to old school. There probably are parents that of watching everything that they buy, whereas we're all guilty of getting a shopping bag, basket, trolley, whatever it may be, and just throwing things in there without any regard for the cost of it. And that's gone on for years. And I think it's going to have to be going back to behavioural of understanding the value of money.
Yeah, and I think probably if you take it back over the last couple of years, we've probably all been a little bit more frivolous with our money when it's come to doing that, because that's the only thing we've got to spend our money on is like the shopping. You know, instead of going to maybe Tesco, we've been going to Waitrose, do you know what I mean? And so on and so forth. But it's all kind of relevant, and I think people are now going to become a little bit more conscious of what they're spending and what they're kind of buying. I certainly am. I mean, especially after seeing what our electric and gas bills gone up, it blows my mind that how it can kind of go up that much. But we're not going to get into the politics of that.
I'm not saying it's a good thing, all the crap that's happening in the world, but the last 2 years, I think, have made people appreciate their surrounding areas because they couldn't go get to know their neighbours a lot better. So there was a sense of community that was instilled. And this thing that's happening now is almost bringing back people to the concept of understanding and spending. And I know certain supermarkets, you can go in, you can beep each one and you can kind of see a running total. And I think it is getting back to knowing how much you're spending and not just I'm going in to buy one item, coming out with 5 and spending 8 times more than you wanted just because of the stuff there. It is now planning your weekly shop, making a list. You know, it is old school, like my mother used to do, of looking at all the cupboards, what she needed, knowing what she was going to cook for the week, and go to the shop specifically for them. Right, she ticked it off on a piece of paper. We're using an iPhone now, but that regimental and looking at the prices maybe online of different things. And if you have to go to 2 or 3 shops to buy those 40 different items, get rid of the convenience and go on and do those 4 different things. Takes more time, is less convenient, but it's saving you money, or it's allowing you to funnel some of that money into some other area, such as the gap between the new gas electricity price. So I think people will have to start doing new behaviours with money.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of change. I think it's going to make people kind of step back and go, "Oh, hang on a minute." Do you know what I mean? We were down the bay walking yesterday, and it's funny. We walked past these 2 girls, and I overheard them talking. The one saying, "Oh, I never guess what? I filled my car up, or I put fuel in my car, and it was over £100, and it wasn't even a full tank. I've never had that before." You know, and I would have said this girl was in her early 20s, probably kind of a mid-sized car, but in excess of £100, didn't even fill up the car.
That's average.
And they were and that was a conversation they were having. Like, this is ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? And it is frightening, and it's not slowing down. It was quite funny though. I did hear on the news the other day that I think the Americans are complaining because they're paying something like $120 a gallon at the moment. Oh no. Do you know what I mean?
You got a big car, you got to be able to.
But like 120 gallon, I don't know how many litres, was it 3 litres in a gallon?
Can I get my phone out? This is a bit like I'm back in the day at St. David's.
I have to check that. I'll check that one now. That's 4.5.
Oh, it wasn't far off. Huh?
Right, so that puts it in perspective. Do you know what I mean? We're paying £1.70 a litre. I think they were moaning about something like £1.20 a gallon.
$4.80.
$1.
Wow. And our real day job.
Would we be paying a litre? That's a lot of money. That just shows, isn't it, the difference? Let's see, the numbers might not be 100% accurate, but let's have a look. How much is a gallon of fuel in America? No, $4 a gallon. 4.3
a gallon.
dollars a gallon.
So less than $1 a litre, which I don't know what's the pound to dollar then.
Goodness knows.
Cheap, anyways.
Cheap, but a lot cheaper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of. But yeah, so it's interesting to say the least. But fuel.
Dictates
all
everything.
things, you know,
It dictates everything, doesn't it?
Because the cost of fuel, that with the delivery of goods to the shops, that's part of the knock-on effect of it. I mean, like, electric cars are the future.
I did notice that somebody said the last day there was the sign in Sainsbury's on Colchester Avenue in Cardiff was, you know, that the price of fuel is turned off, and somebody said walked in, they were paying for something. Yeah, we're just waiting. We're looking to hire some staff to basically stand up there so you can change the numbers every 5 minutes, because it's just rocketing up on a regular basis.
Yeah,
It's just crazy.
Crazy. It's crazy times, but we'll get through it.
And as I said, I think people just need to change behaviours and revert back to the simple things of, you know, making lists before they go to shops, checking online which certain things are cheaper, you know, even if it's the dishwasher tablets or the washing machine tablets or whatever it may be that are the £9-10 things, and if they get them a pound or two cheaper in another shop, just go to that shop, make the list, and don't eat when you're hungry. Go before you go, eat before you go shopping, so you're not hungry there.
Oh, that's
all
the worst thing to do, isn't it? Go to the shop, go shopping hungry. The rubbish.
It's changing certain behaviours to make sure that you don't overspend, so that you can compensate for potentially, hopefully, underspending on one section where you can use that under.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe and remember to follow us on social media for more content like this.